Welcome back to another series of vids, guys. This one's going to be pretty damn awesome, eh? I can't wait to get stuck into it. I'm going to call this series of vids On the Hunt. It's just two of us. It's me and Jacko. Bit of a story behind this idea for this series. Originally, I'd planned in my head, I never told anyone, I probably should have, but I'd planned to do it with my dad. And I thought, oh, this would be a great time once we sort of settled in up here. The kids are all in school and stuff, and then you plan a couple of week trip around when it's not busy and the kids and that are busy at school, and I could take off. I thought that'd be perfect for me and Dad to go and sort of catch up with people that I've met along the way over the years, go back and experience things that I might have missed or I found out more about, or I really love some of my favourite spots. And yeah, that was my idea. And then as life sometimes throws you curveballs, I actually lost my dad at the start of the year to unforeseen health issues. He was only 69, and from the day Mum sort of rang me and said he's not well, it was less than 2 weeks later that he'd actually passed away. So it just really give me a kick in the arse to focus and make the most of like your own family, but also your own opportunities and stuff as well. So I've been pretty quiet on like the YouTube side of things and videos and stuff. I don't know, just needed to take a break from it and just do stuff for ourselves. And it was been really good, you know, but I have been missing the adventure side of like going to create some vids and go to some cool spots. So anyway, this is this On the Hunt series. That's where it stemmed from me planning to do stuff with my old man one day. That's not going to happen, so I'm going to take Jack. I'm going to start, and hopefully this becomes a tradition for me and my boys, and Charlie, my young girl. Hopefully we can do things like this together as they grow up, go on bigger and bigger missions each year, and just create some awesome memories. So, and hopefully the plan is, if I do this enough with them, they might do it with me when I get older, and I can just be the passenger. We've got a rough plan, but it's going to be weather dependent, and we're going to hop our way from home base near the sunny coast up through Yeppoon, Whitsundays, Cairns, and then we'll probably leave the boat in Cairns, buzz across to Kununurra to catch up with Birchie, do a couple of fishing missions and hunting over there, and then shoot over to Broome, where we've got a bit of a week-long Kimberley barra fishing mission planned for up there. So hopefully everything we've planned comes off, but we are flying a bit by the seat of our pants, so we will just see what happens. But anyway, welcome to On the Hunt. Alright, so I'll show you a bit around the gear and how I've set it up. You probably noticed in the background too, it's a bit of a new space. I will give you a rundown in the future, but I've been spending a lot of time over this in the last 6 months, decking out this new space as a shed, as a place to come and chill, as somewhere to work, and to house the gear and stuff. But this trip, mate, me and Jacko going in together, and we are taking the Chev. So I've decked out the canopy and everything, where everything goes, I'll show you that. And we're taking the old centre console, so the little Gulf runner, and I've pulled the T-top off it. If you remember, it had like a Dolphin T-top or some brand T-top on top. That's come off just to make it easier to fish and get up creeks, and it's better to tow as well. I noticed with the T-top, any rough stuff or even on the highway and that, it'd get a fair wobble up and I'd sort of have to strap it down a bit. So I've removed that and I'll chuck it back on when we get home. But anyway, Gulf runner, Chevy, it's coming with us on the hunt. Let's go, I'll show you the setup for the Chev. So righto, in the canopy, we'll start down here. Front toolbox has just got my jack and a drill and a charger. I take a drill so I can use like sand pegs and screw pegs into the ground if I need to tow my awning down. Then my fridge, I've chucked a couple of our own organisers on here. They're actually out of the caravan. They're like our DIY stick-on organisers for the entry and bunk beds and stuff, and they just suit the bloody fridge perfectly. So if you've got a smaller one, you could just use one of those too if you wanted to, but that's there. A couple of magnetic stubby coolers, always handy. And then in here I've got my fire extinguisher, first aid kit, there's a snake bite kit tucked in there, and then of course all our battery gear is tucked away in there. Red Arc stuff all controlled by Red Vision, Norwell package. And then here's our table drawer combo, swing out, keeping it simple in my kitchen drawer. It's just my induction cooker, fry pan, there's a little pop-up kettle that works on your induction stove. I've got a satellite phone there, And then also I've got a jet boil, which I take, or I use to quickly boil water and stuff on the side of the road or in the boat. Up the top here, I've got a couple of cargo gear, old storage things. I just use them for extra stuff along the way, but this one here has got like plates and cutlery and a little dishwashing tub in it. That stores away in there. And then me pull out pantry, that's just got easy items to grab for cooking and using the canopy in the kitchen. So coffee bags, Dettol wipes, spice rubs, dishwashing liquid, shampoo and body wash, Airguard, kitchen bags, matches, bit of dry food up the top there, a few campers, pantries, meals, Ziploc bags. So yeah, that's bloody handy, that is. And then if we come around here in this little back section, I'm yet to throw another chair in, but I'll have 2 chairs. I've got one there, I've got a table there, a little blow mold table, and then just a little container with some Tupperware and stuff in it. So when you've got leftover food, you can put it in the fridge and your Tupperware. In the back toolbox is a bit of like washing gear for the boat, some spray and wipe, some car wash, some mitts, a few towels, just handy stuff for tidying everything up. And then we've got our on-tap shower in the back of the tray here. That's a 12-volt jerry can shower. Another jerry can here for 20 litres of water. And if you haven't seen the build vid on this, there is a black poly water tank under there that holds 58 litres as well. So I'm gonna have plenty of water for showers and stuff like that. And then I've got a hose here to fill up at a water point, and then ladder on the back, and my navigator wheel pack buddy on the back, which is my bin, so I chuck all my rubbish in the back of that. In my rear trundle drawer here, it comes out and locks out like this. It's also got a table on top that sits here, so you can use it as like a cooking space or a workspace. But inside here I've got my tool roll, fire pits and mesh. I've got some cooking stuff from Osbri, little racks and trays and that you can cook over the fire. Some tent pegs and ropes for the bush company awning. If it gets real windy, you can peg it down. Tyre repair kit, and me telescopic ladder. So when I've got the 270 awning out on this, you can't use the back ladder, so you use the telescopic ladder up the right hand side here. Anyway, that's that side. Swing around, back toolbox, I've got like a raincoat, a hoodie, some tie downs, a little 3-piece shovel. Or the front box, all my recovery gear, so snatch straps, tree protectors, shackles, soft shackles, winch, blanket, all that stuff fits in there nice and easy. And my little gauge from Apex for me valves. If you didn't see that last bit I did, these quick release valves are pretty sick, eh? They just sort of dump all the air super fast. And then up in here, I told you, we removed this big drawer because we've always had a drawer in the back of these canopies, but now it's heaps more versatile for us doing different trips because I've got so much more space. Look at that, I can throw all this different gear in there. I'm not limited by having a drawer just for camera gear and that, so that works really well. I've still got my camera stuff here. I've got a water filter, like a Womo water filter in here with its own pump, so we can always put fresh clean water into our tanks. And then I'm going pretty simple on this trip, so I'm bringing the aircon. The EcoFlow aircon runs off a battery. I can also plug it into the inverter in this car, and then I've made up my own bit of ducting, so that will reach up into the rooftop tent. So you got to remember, it's the end of October, November, and we're going north to Cairns and across to Broome, so it's going to be hot as balls. Air compressor up there, a few extra bits and bobs in that cargo gear case, and that is it. Hey, that is the canopy setup. Let's show you the boat. Righto, so you wouldn't have seen this boat in action for a while, the old Gulf Runner. I do use it a fair bit, but I just haven't been filming any vids in it. I just use it to go crabbing and do quick inshore missions and that. Bit of a recap on it, it's a 540 centre console with 130 horsepower Yummy on it. It's on a tandem axle Mackay trailer, a KRX, so it's like an off-road galvanised trailer, and I fitted the deflector stone guard to it myself, so you just buy them online and you can DIY fit them in your driveway. Bloody handy, eh? Come down here, and the only thing really I've changed on it is that I took the T-top off it just for this trip because it's easier to flick for barra and like punch up into creeks for crabs and stuff. You just won't. Well, you can do it with the T-top, but I found last trip we did with that, you'd get hung up a bit up in high on the mangroves, and flicking was a bit hard up the front, flicking lures and stuff. So I've just pulled it off, see how it goes. It's probably going to be a bit hot and I might regret it, but it's done now. And the only thing I'm going to do is wrap this in I've got a cover for the motor, that's it. No cover for the boat, won't be doing too much dirt roads. So yeah, that is it. What I'd like to do is run these steering locks. So you put them on your hydraulic steering to stop your motor moving around, and also a trim block. So you put that under there, just trim down a little bit to put some weight on it, and then that supports it all. So let's jump in the boat. Up we go. Yeah. Good old Gulf Runner. It's a good little boat, eh? I've been tempted to sell it a few times, but then you just have little opportunities come up, or fishing trips where you go, oh, I can't really do that in a bigger boat. And this thing is it's a pretty bloody good all-rounder, to be honest. But yeah, so much to Beck's disgust, I can't manage to part with it yet. We'll see how we go at the end of the year. I'll start up the front, eh? So you can see here that I've pulled the T-top off. It just separates in half there, and I've just taped it up with a bit of foam under there, just to give us a bit of a grab handle, and it just opens it right up. I get that it's going to be a bit hotter without shade, but I think it's going to be really good for fishing. Up here I've got I run our own bags. These are our Stone Guard buddy bags. They actually go in front of the caravan, but they fit awesome to any sort of rail in your boat, and you use them as bins. Like this one's for storage, that one's as a bin. So all your rubbish and whatever else, you've got somewhere to put it, and then you can use this for an extra bit of storage for towels or whatever. Keep stuff dry. And then this is a new addition. I've got a fuel bladder. You've seen these? It's from a mob called Niche Outdoors. They do fuel and water bladders. Now this is you can fold it up. It's an 80 litre fuel bladder. It folds up like that, nothing, and you just chuck it in a little bag, and I've just been keeping it under the casting deck there. So that's a bloody great little addition, and it's just folded up and chuck under there with me second anchor, me safety gear, and life jackets and stuff. So that's good, eh? I'm not taking an esky, I'm just taking me chiller bag. It's just like a chiller bag. Throw a couple of bags of ice in it, only lasts a day or so, but enough to keep fish cold. Keeping me swag in here. If we go fishing and not camping, I'll just chuck that in the ute. And I've got a tub there to empty live bait and crabs and stuff in, cast net. And then I've added this little rod holder here. So I got it, I can't even remember the name now. I wish I could tell you. They were only like 20 bucks each. They're foam down the bottom, and I just pop riveted it to the console. You come up here, they're plastic and foam again here, pop riveted it to the console. Happy days. Holds 6 rods, nice and square and firm. So that's pretty handy, because without the T-top I've got no rod storage. They used to get stored in the top of the T-top. I don't have any room or side mounted rod holders in this, other than the ones in the gunnels. So that's a good bit of rod storage. And then what do we got? Haven't changed anything in the console. Got heaps of storage under there, spare tackle and all that. And then on my bolster seat, that's reversible, I've got storage under here, so some tackle trays, some more stuff under there. And then instead of running the fridge on this trip, I am just taking an esky. This pulls out actually. An esky, and then I'll grab one of these cob cookers. So it's a little gas cooker, and you can like fry fish and cook stuff and bacon and eggs and do roasts and everything in it. So I'm going to try and use that when we get out in the boat, because I don't have I've got a decent battery in this, but not enough to run an inverter and stuff. Yeah, bait board set up, a couple extra holes drilled in it to hold me lip grips and me D-hooker, and then me gear around the corner here for pliers and stuff. This one's a brilliant one from First Light Fab. You just chuck it on here, and I lost me bloody pliers. They were good little pliers too. I lost them. I don't know where they went. And little brain spike. Happy days. Well, there you have it. That is a Gulf Runner setup, Chevy setup. We're ready for the hunt. I'll give you a sneaky look at the shed before we head off on the hunt, mate. It's a 25 metre by 13 metre by, I don't know, 5 something. It's got 4 metre roller doors, 4 metres high, 4 metres wide, 25 long, 13 deep. And it's sick, mate. I like it. I'm still decking it out. I've done the floors. I'm starting to do my shelving. I've got the boats in here, but that's about where I'm up to. Got some water tanks on it and stuff. But yeah, I'll do a proper rundown on it because I've had lots of questions via socials and that about sheds. It's been a bloody process, mate. It's hard to get, well, it's hard to get what you pay for these days. I've had lots of dramas getting this thing done, but it's come up pretty good in the end. So I'll give you a run through when I get back from this trip. Bye, Sheddy. I'm gonna miss you.